Why don't you like whales?
They're scary. I've been over this before, dude. There is no freaking way something that big should be that elusive.
I don't think whales are elusive.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, forgetting anything we might know about the feature run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Miracle Workers. Miracle Workers went 37 episodes with 4 seasons on TBS. Today we're talking about episode 1, which is called 2 Weeks, originally airing February 8th, 2019. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me as always, the boys, most of them, Joe, Nick, and Gordo. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Hello.
Jordan.
Sorry, no Ferg this week. Did I say that? I don't even remember if I said that. Sorry, no Ferg this week.
We're not sorry.
Ferg, the creator of Fanuary, behind the scenes, he was the one who first thought of Fanuary and has a terrible Fanuary attendance record.
Yeah.
He should have made it like Fanuli or something because he's always on vacation when we record in January.
With that being said, welcome. This is week 4 of Fanuary. This is Julia's pick. Julia has picked a show for us in the past. We did Trial and Error a couple years ago, was one of her picks.
Yeah.
Julia, I would say, I think officially we could say super fan Julia. Julia is someone who's reached out to us a ton and very thankful for all the support she's posted about us many a times. Sorry Ferg hates you so much.
And thank you for bringing this show, because I got so thrown off by this show, like in the weird way that things get thrown to you now in the algorithm. I only ever saw clips from this show in what must have been like the 3rd season, where it was like the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages or whatever. And it just looked so much to me like that terrible Michael Cera movie Year One that I just had like an awful taste in my mouth. I was like, I'm never watching this stupid fucking show.
See, I never even heard of the show. I don't know how this one passed me by.
I never heard of this. Is this show still running?
No. It stopped in 2013, but it did 4 seasons though.
Yeah, that's so weird, because this is like obviously you can make the connection to The Good Place pretty easily with this show.
It's like The Good Place meets Blackadder.
Sure, yeah. It's got like a very similar vibe, and I really loved The Good Place, so.
Well, here's what, so this show, I mean, this is our first, not to get ahead, but, doing my homework on the show, because I hadn't watched any of it up until this point and watched the first episode. This is one of those shows that, like Blackadder, like Making History, like Hot Wives of Orlando, which we've also covered. It's one of those ones where every season is like a refresh, new story. People play different people from the prior season.
Oh, really?
So this is one of those situations where, like Joe was saying, he was introduced to a different season, so it's completely different than what we saw. And then now, like what we're seeing here with this more like Good Place kind of, religious God heaven type thing going on, that doesn't exist come next season. So, even if this season did really well, it's almost like, we could talk about that later if that's a good method for shows or not. It's interesting when it's done, but I think pros and cons come
Personally, it's a turnoff for me. I like, you like
continuity?
Not even the continuity. It's just like you develop a relationship with characters, right? And if you're going to keep making the show, make it with the same characters, right? Like you've made me invest in these characters, and then you're just gonna, I don't know, because obviously there are shows who do it right too.
Like I said, there's definitely like a pro and con to it, because then also it's like an easy binge, and like you can just kind of take it for what it is. And now this is also a show that was created by Simon Rich, who he's wrote a ton. And this was based on like a short story he did. Actually, he also, another one of his stories turned into Man Seeking Woman, which is a Jay Baruchel show.
I love that show. That show is so fucking funny.
And he was a writer for SNL, one of the youngest writers for SNL ever when he got hired in 2007. But this was like a short story. And then like one of the other seasons is another one of his stories. So it kind of enables you to be able to do that without, a lot of times when things kind of outlive their, the source work, and then, the writing gets kind of off the rails from like its original source material. I guess doing like a season by season. And now this isn't an exact, replication of the original short story he wrote, but sometimes it kind of saves you from that too, right? Like people who love The Walking Dead, at some point it got so far away from the source material that like you lost some fans. So
I can see this being a hook though too for actors. Like I'm sure like you go to somebody like Steve Buscemi who doesn't need to work on a TV show, right? And you say like, hey, as an actor, we're gonna change this whole thing every season. Everything will be totally different. You have to like stretch your wings and do a different thing. You're not pigeonholed. Like I think that gets you to get somebody into a sitcom who maybe wouldn't do it because they don't want to be stuck. Look at Steve Carell, right? Like almost like bit the hand that feed him a little bit. After a while, he's like, I don't want to be on The Office anymore. It's like, well, you really kind of can't leave. You really, like it's what made you have the ability to leave, but like people get bored and stuck and they want to do something else. And this kind of keeps you from doing that, I would imagine, as an actor or a writer or a producer or whatever. But as a fan, I think it's probably less intriguing for most people.
So you said that this went 37 episodes over 4 seasons.
yeah.
That's some British numbers.
Yeah, and we've kind of talked about that too. That seems to be, it's funny, even over like, I mean, this show came out, 2019. But if we're really looking at the last decade of television and the streaming era, it's what we would consider British, style seasons or series, as they say there, is becoming what American television is too now.
Yeah, like you'll see a show pop up like Happy's Place or something, right? Like that's like a very standard sitcom, and they'll still do like the 22 episode seasons. But a lot of the stuff on like FX or whatever, they're all doing 8-10 episodes. Like The Bear, I think, is probably the biggest one past few years, like get the most traction, even though to be fair, I would not say it's a comedy at the turned to not much of a comedy.
Yeah.
Not at its heart, no.
At its heart, but it's that's like 10 episodes a season, right? But also it's again, I think it's more for like the actors and stuff too, right? Like it doesn't lock you in for a whole year. You can still go do a movie in the off season and come back, right? Like that kid couldn't have gone and played Bruce Springsteen if that was a 22 episode season show. So like
right, or an undersized Carrie Von Erich.
Look, I think he was undersized as Carrie Von Erich, but I think he was fucking fantastic as Carrie Von Erich. So.
It bothered me, but that's a whole that we could talk about that for 2 hours.
What would you rather, Jay? Would you rather someone who's huge and kind of sucks at playing him, or would you rather the size difference and get the good character?
I get what you're saying.
Also, he got very built up. He is very muscular in that movie.
And again, I don't want to eat up too much time with it, but I'll say this: it's something that typically, Nick, I totally agree. The whole time I watched the movie, and this, by the way, we're talking about the Iron Claw. It phenomenal movie. It's tough the more you know about the source, though. But I could not get past it the entire movie. Every time I saw him, like, he's way too small. Carrie Von Erich was a fucking monster, and he is like in what's his name, Jeremy
Allen White.
What's he like 5'7"? So it's just like it's like it was tough.
It's like me playing Hulk Hogan.
So that all aside, we could talk about that for hours. Couple numbers on this show. Miracle Workers, IMDb 7.1 overall score. Rotten Tomatoes 84%, critics 76% audience. And this is a show that it is very findable still. Hulu and Sling if you have subscriptions there. And then if you want to buy it, there's like 50 different apps and stuff where you can pay for the show.
I'm sure Joe did.
Nope, I have Sling actually, so I was able to watch it on Sling with not as intense a commercial bombardment as you usually get when you get a show on a. But I pay for Sling, so I guess you get like less commercials because you pay for it. But
I used to, I don't anymore.
Yeah, I honestly usually just use it for the news at this point. And now I'm like, why am I paying $40 a month to just watch the news? I can probably find an app that has just the news for
$40 a
cheaper.
month to be depressed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Before we get into the show itself, one last thing I want to bring up. TBS original. Have we done another TBS original show?
I'm sure we
have
have.
not.
I don't think so.
I can't even name one off the top of my head.
I can think of 2 other ones. There was the one with Rashida Jones from a few years ago, maybe around this time. I think they made a big push for like doing their own original content, which was like maybe a workplace comedy, but with like a huge cast. I think maybe some other Office folks were in that too. And then there was the Pauly Shore Comedy Store reality show from when we were in high school, Minding the Store. That was a TBS original as well. Those are the only 3 I can think of, though. Oh, aside from like Dinner and a Movie that was on when we were like...
They do a lot of animated and like reality, like Impractical Jokers, stupid stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean...
TBS?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Turner Broadcasting.
Remember now, all of those channels are all like part of the giant conglomerate that is like Warner Discovery right now. So you're seeing like a lot of cross-pollination of a lot of those shows too, or like True TV is now part of the same family. So like shows that were on there are now on TBS because more.
Well, that's right.
houses
That's
get
like
that.
Nick just said in Practical Jokers. But yeah, as far as a TBS original show,
Yeah, it's I need to look up what the Rashida Jones show is, but I don't think we've covered any other ones. Yeah.
and this is, by the way, episode 250 for us. So kind of a landmark
250!
episode.
We should have taken off a few months and then come back in July for America's 250th anniversary.
Oops. So
So wait, we're going on vacation? Is that what I'm hearing?
That was what I was pitching, but we ruined it. It's too late. We had to keep
All
going.
right, let's go.
This doesn't have to come out.
It's true.
The world would end if that happened. We'd get into like World War III. We'd come back and be like, sorry.
America, fuck yeah.
Ferg was drafted, so we can't keep going.
So to talk about the episode itself, because I told you guys right before we started recording, interesting. I feel like it's a dense show. I don't know how long it's going to take to go through, depending on how we go about it. So want to get right into it.
Famous last words. I don't think it's that dense. I think it's a pretty easy premise.
And we'll find out.
Yeah, but Jay's kind of dense, so he thought it was. Yeah.
So the first scene, we see a guy on the couch flicking through channels, and it's all bad news. Ice sheets melting in the Northern Hemisphere, 5-alarm fires, Florida man on bath salts ate someone's face. It's a guy watching TV. The guy is Steve Buscemi. We don't know at this moment, but we find out pretty soon after that he's playing God in this show, or at least in the season of the show. He finally flicks one more time, and we see like a NASCAR driver right after winning a race, and he's giving his like little interview to the television, and he's saying, and I just want to thank my sponsors and my crew, but most importantly, I want to say, praise God. And he like perks his ears, and he just keeps rewinding to praise God, praise God, praise God.
With such a genuine smile on his face, too.
Yeah, because after watching all this depressing shit on TV, which, we could relate to, although don't have the power to fix, as he's playing the praise God over and over again, eventually this woman, Rosie, walks in, who's one of his like handlers, assistants, whatever. She goes, God? He goes, oh, hey, Rosie. And this is, that's the reveal that he, in fact, is God. He's like, I was just fixing some problems down on Earth. And she says, oh, well, it's time for your 1 o'clock meeting. Right off the bat, just, before we even go further, just this idea of now a minute in, we have the reveal. Steve Buscemi is playing God on this show. He's not looking godlike in the way we're used to. He looks like Steve Buscemi with long hair, just sitting on a couch in his pajamas.
He looks like that's what's God like.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's the long gray hair. No, wait, does Buscemi have a beard in this? I can't think.
No,
he's usually scruffy. So. But we're used to seeing more like God presented almost like a little more muscular, strong beard and hair, if anything, almost in a like Zeus-like way, I guess, when depicted. But he's not.
I don't get that vibe.
Visually.
I usually just think of like an old man.
Alanis Morissette at times.
Yeah.
Was there a movie that had a similar premise to this that wasn't Bruce Almighty?
Maybe it was. I would have thought Bruce Almighty.
Maybe it was. Okay, because I could have sworn that I saw this, and then maybe I'm thinking of Bruce Almighty.
I mean, there's also Dear God with George Burns, right? There's a lot, like, this has been like a pretty repeated premise, right? Like, God has to deal with the human condition. But I do like this. If God, like, we're not going to talk about religion on this. We're going to keep this as a weird little thing. But, like, if you think of the idea of there's a God and humans are experiment, like Earth is an experiment, and I create all those people, let's see what happens. And then, like, he's watching 9/11 happen. He's got to be a little bit like, oh, not everything I've done is perfect here. I can imagine the stress wearing on you a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get into it more as the episode unveils itself. But, a lot of this is, we see him flicking through the channels, and there is just an overwhelming amount of bad things happening, and it's how much can you handle? And, his way of dealing with that, which will unfold, like I said, as we go on a little further. Back to the episode in itself, he has this 1 o'clock meeting, and we see a few guys in the room. He's like, oh, the fantasy football draft? Like, no, you said you were going to reveal your plan to end all pain. He's like, oh, yeah, I've been working on that, just, crunching some numbers. And then this guy, Sanjay, runs in, who's, I guess, probably is like number one right-hand man.
Is this the cab driver? I meant to look this up. This is...
He is.
Yeah, okay, all right.
The Pinder from Deadpool?
Yes, yeah.
He also starred with Jay in Ghostbusters 2016.
Ghostbusters 2016, more importantly, yeah.
Yeah. He's in the bad
recognizing
Ghostbusters movie that Jay was also in.
That's okay. You should have stopped sentence sooner. But yes, he did. Yeah, he was also in Ghostbusters 2016. But yeah, Nick, I think if you were to recognize him from anything, probably the Deadpool movies.
Okay. Never saw a single one.
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. Even if you're not into superhero movies, like
you don't get to say You haven't seen it. No, you can't. Yeah, but you don't get to say. So if somebody says you're missing out, you don't need to go You don't know. You don't have the subject to. You don't have it. Like you can't say You have to watch it, and then if you don't like it, you can say but you don't get to go without seeing it.
I can.
Make it go, oh.
Yeah, it's just
Nah.
Bam, 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 bam.
I'm glad that we're all the same fucking broken.
So, yeah, so he runs in and he's basically, all right, everybody, God's busy. We got to get out of here. And, shoos everybody out. Once everybody's gone, guy gets back to watching television, flicks on. We get that NASCAR driver finishing up his speech. He's like, people talking every day about how the world's all screwed up. But, man, I say we're blessed. Great things happen every day. Great things. Woo! And then it cuts to the news. He's like, and that, of course, was Buzz Dugan's final interview before his horrific explosion at Daytona. He is dead.
I just love he is dead.
The purred happily delivery of this,
yeah, very much
really
purred,
got me. But just the him dying, I totally caught me off guard.
That one popped me.
Yeah.
Buscemi, also the way he buttons everything, like with this, he's like, "Come on!" It's so fucking good.
And then the news continues on about the polar caps and stuff. And while that happens, we get the pan up and we can see over like the big screen is like about 100 smaller televisions on top of it, all with different news channels on, showing all the world's tragedies happening at once.
He's got that thing that you always see in 80s movies where like supervillains have like 55 little TVs on their giant wall making one big TV.
I've always wanted one.
Be a cool thing. It's like it's an accent piece.
Yeah.
I always thought up until Red Zone became a thing, like that always seemed like the coolest thing. Like, oh, imagine having like 6 TVs and being able to watch all the football games at once. I guess only Nick would relate. This isn't the crowd for that.
I was really just trying to think of like something I could relate to that to. I was like, is there 6 things I'd want to watch at once? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you could watch all the Golden Girls spinoffs at the same time.
I mean, if I had 3 screens playing Empty Nest and 3 screens playing Golden Palace at the same time, I would be pretty happy.
I always think of, is Hugh Jackman in Swordfish? That awful hacker movie with John Travolta.
John Travolta?
Yeah. There's just like a whole like hacking montage, and then he's got like 15 CRT monitors. It's just so ridiculous.
His like floor is buckling under the weight of that many monitors. Like the fucking floor joists are like, oh Jesus, yeah.
God basically just turns the TVs off and goes, "Hoochie mama," and just swigs his beer. And that gets us into the intro.
He feels to me with the long hair too. It's like if Rex from Airheads, like if we caught up with him now, this is what I feel like his character would be.
Also, bad wig props department or makeup, probably makeup needs to do a better job.
I didn't clock that.
The
I
hairline
didn't clock
was
it either.
Terrible. Yeah, you could tell.
But I will say, I think that's kind of funny too. Like God would have a bad wig is maybe like a part of the joke.
I guess if it was intentional, then yeah. Good.
But I imagine God could make his own hair better, right?
You'd think so.
You would think.
I mean, Steve Buscemi's also got kind of fucked up features.
Do you think that God could rip a fart so powerful that he himself could not sniff it?
So, from there we get to the intro. The intro itself, I gotta say, I didn't love it. It was this weird, like, they did one of those, like, marble tracks, and it was going through different, like, types of, like, natural disasters, which isn't, in theory, I thought was good, but I thought it looked way too CGI. And they're playing that knockoff Good, the Bad, the Ugly song that's used in car commercials now.
Yeah, it's like the fake Ennio Morricone song.
So, like, I'm just waiting for, like, get your Toyota Tundra now as they're playing that song. It was what it was. I get what they were going for. I just didn't love it. I thought the CGI was too rough that it just looked, it looked a little like Bush League.
Yeah.
I feel like you honestly could have just had like a montage of like Mount St. Helens erupting and avalanches and like real footage, that's stock footage for free, and then just had like
Yeah, like the whole intro where they're just playing like, news clips. Yeah, that would have worked just fine. So that happens. And of course, this being a show now, like we wouldn't have known this, but where they change from season to season, I feel like this is also kind of a show that doesn't necessarily need a full intro because you can kind of get away with just a title screen and like a 5-second jingle because the show's going to look and feel so different season to season anyways.
That still blows my mind.
That the show is formatted this way?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because you like Blackadder, and that's like the whole premise of that too.
We spoke about it earlier, not to bring it back up and necromance it, but not too many shows do that. It's been done a couple of times, like we've pointed out with Blackadder, but I can't really think of
Making
more.
History I brought up is another show that we had done before that does it. But I feel like with this one, and we're going to reveal why the show's called Miracle Workers soon, but with the name of the show and kind of what we find out the premise to be, I feel like you could season by season with the same premise every time. But yeah, no, I get it.
I know we bring up The Office a lot, but I think a way that would be really cool to make a show like this work is like imagine if you had season 1 of The Office, right? And you're like following a paper company in Scranton, and then next season you're following a fucking plumbing company in Sheboygan, right? Like if you did the same thing, we were like, we just go to a different year of these different people's lives. I think that would be an interesting way to do it, but keeping the same actors and the same principles, I think is what makes it sort of, people will probably either like or dislike it.
Right. And like I said, this is like, that's a whole conversation to be had about, where you feel that, with the connections to the characters and stuff like that and how that works. But we only have the benefit of this episode anyway. So, I want to get too into it. But the next scene from the intro, we see like this exterior shot and it's Heaven Inc. And it's a very industrial looking area. And it's funny because if you look in the background, you see like Earth, off in the distance, the way you would see like the moon if we were here. And you get the voice over the PA, like, attention, like morning shift starts now. And you're seeing all this stuff. And, it's just like a couple shots once we get inside. You see like days without an accident, 0. Like obviously at Earth, it's going to be like that. And you get the guy who walks into the office. It's the Department of Animals. And he's telling the guy there like, oh, more budget cuts. And then the guy at the desk gets up and he has like his marker. And he's just like looking at like a board that has all these different animals listed. And now he has to figure out like, all right, I guess we have to like extinct an animal. Which one's next?
I love this joke.
Yeah. You see like, dodos and dinosaurs and mammoths listed on the bottom. And now he's like looking like, am I going to cut dogs or cows? Like what's the next one?
Or alligators.
I love the idea that extinction comes from budget cuts in heaven. I also love too that like you work in heaven and heaven sucks. Heaven is a shitty fucking job with a bad fucking cafeteria and industrial lighting. Like it's a very funny way to make people think about like that there's even nuts and bolts to that shit,
Now, I'm shocked that it didn't happen. And this is the one time I prepped myself because I was so confident it would happen. Gordo did not ask us if we were to cut an animal out, which one would it be? So I'm going to go ahead and ask because I have this answer ready. And for me, it is 1,000 times over an ostrich.
I knew you were going to say an ostrich.
Ostrich, get the fuck out of here, you creepy fuck.
Yeah, but okay, so emus still exist.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, also, like, I love emus. I saw an emu, like, up close in person this year. That is a fucking terrible... It's a dinosaur. It is a scary, scary fucking animal.
There's a cassowary... I think it's called a cassowary in Australia, and it looks like that, but it's aggressive.
I mean, I think... Can I pick, like, a bug? Like, can I just get rid of mosquitoes? Like, fuck mosquitoes.
I guess that'd be the smarter way to go about it.
No, you know what? Frogs. They scare the shit out of me. And whales.
Oh, I've got one. Wasps.
The band Wasp?
No, Blackie Lawless can stay. Because wasps don't do anything. Hornets and bees, you can say, like, have some purpose. Wasps are just...
The wasps is a great one. Why do frogs scare Gordo?
They're kind of creepy.
I mean, they're not creepy. They're, like, gross or whatever.
I was at my brother-in-law's house. He lives up on top of a mountain. And I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I had to call my wife because there was a toad, and he runs an Airbnb up in the mountains, okay? And he has these big medieval doors, right, to his cabin, and there was a fucking toad that had to be like this big down there. And it was standing right in the doorway. It would not let me go and enter the house. And I was too afraid to open up the door, and then the frog would hop in, and then other guests would see the frog. And it was big, slimy, and weird, and it wouldn't move, and I just don't like them. They just...
And just for those listening, Gordo put his hands up, and apparently the toad is roughly the size of a Big Mac.
A regular toad.
It was like this
What Gordo's not
big
telling us, though, is that his brother-in-law's house is in Chernobyl, so it was not the regular time toad.
Like, what is a toad gonna do to you?
Well, some of them will kill you.
It's good. They're poisonous.
Yeah, I mean, those are neon colored. You would know.
No,
and
they're
where-
not. No.
gonna-
The one in Poland is venomous and poisonous.
Eastern Europe, man. I don't know.
Well, I'll say, listen, there's nothing dangerous about ostriches, but, like...
No, they can be nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
And I've consumed quite a bit of ostrich meat over the years.
Has anybody had an ostrich egg? I've always wanted
Not
to
the egg.
try
I've
it.
had ostrich, like,
No.
burgers and stuff.
I've had an ostrich burger, yeah.
the whole time Jay was like, "Fuck you."
They creep me out. Anyways, next we get to the Department of Constellations, and you have a guy doing a presentation. You see like
I
a
love
constellation.
this.
He's like, oh, the next one you see, if you connect all the dots, you get a bear. And you get the guy sitting at the table going, what? And he's like, he's the VP's nephew. And I liked it. I mean, if you think of like all the constellations that we've known
Yeah.
our whole lives, like they're all like, sure.
It's a skillet. You're like, I guess, sure,
Yeah.
it's a fucking skillet.
It's an-
Yeah, cool.
It's an oxen pulling a wagon. Like, okay, dude.
So I did think I got a kick out of that one.
I do like that there's still nepotism though in heaven. It's like the
Yeah.
VP's cousin or whatever. Yeah.
And we get to the Department of Volcano Safety, and no one's paying attention. There's an alarm going off. Guys drinking a coffee, and then finally we get to the Department of Angel Resources, and that's where we meet Eliza, and she's putting in for a transfer. You would know Eliza as John Cena's daughter in the movie Blockers.
Ah, yes.
I don't think I saw that.
It's the one where like the girls want to lose their virginity at prom, and all the parents.
It's the one
like,
where, yeah, they wanted to call it cock blockers, but they couldn't, so the logo is blockers with like a rooster in front of it. It's like a
and the
raunchy
parents are
comedy that
basically
came
just
out.
trying to stop their daughters from having sex at prom.
Oh,
It's pretty funny. It's actually a pretty funny movie, yeah.
It's a funny movie. John Cena's her dad in that movie.
Why is John Cena so good at comedy? It's so weird, but he's so fucking funny.
He is.
he is. Because you can't see him.
So, she's at the desk of a woman named Gail. Gail, played by Angela Kinsey, who, as you would know as Angela from The Office, she's the one who's like she's like the head of the department or transfers or whatever. It was fun to see Angela in this show.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that.
It's funny because I mentioned Hot Wives of Orlando earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say we mentioned her earlier, or mentioned that show earlier, and she's very funny in that. And like, plays a different character too, because in this she's kind of like Angela from The
Angela,
Office. So
yeah.
I always like when you see her
She's not.
doing
Well,
different
she's a lot more
characters.
friendly. You know what I mean? She's honestly like listening to Office Ladies. It sounds more like she's basically just playing herself in this one. Just,
Yeah.
She's like season 9 when she accepts Oscar's help, Angela.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I remember that. That was knee slapping, barn burning good times.
I would love to hear any of our listeners who agree with Gordo and don't like The Office. I would love to know like the breakdown of like the percentage wise of that. We should put a poll up or something. Because Gordo, I'm not saying you're alone. There's probably plenty of people who don't enjoy that show. I just don't. I don't meet
It
a
would be a
lot of
tough
them.
comparison because you'd be going by people who watched it, didn't like it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I've seen a couple of episodes.
Eliza's sitting there, and again, she's applying, and Gail's like, "Why are you looking for a transfer? Like, you're at the Department of Dirt. That's a great gig."
I love this though, where she's like, "You work in this easy job for a while. Like, that's not a tough job, right?" Like, I
Yeah,
get
Mark
people
did it
want
for
more, but, like,
80,000 years, got his pension, has a nice
Yeah.
condo. He's happy.
What do you think a heaven pension is like?
This kind of creates like a little bit of a paradox, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
what's the point here? Like, what is homelessness in heaven like? Because it's heaven, right? Like,
But does that mean when you die though, you have to go work in heaven?
No, this isn't like dying, going to heaven. These are angels.
so they were never human.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a different thing.
Okay, all right, that makes a little sense. I was just under the assumption that they died, went to heaven, and worked there.
No, that would suck. imagine like you finally like, oh wow, heaven exists. This is awesome. And they're like, all right, report Monday. You have to go sign up for your new job.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you work at the Department of Dirt.
Yeah. I mean, technically, doing with death what I do with life. The
But you
Department
can have fun
of
with dirt. Like, imagine if you spent all day like making like fun dirt bike tracks to play around on.
But all
That's a
she's
fun
doing
day.
is like making clumps of dirt. She said drying them, wetting them, watching them blow away. Like that's a lot. That's tedious for 80,000 years, you know, thinking about just
Sure.
making dirt move around.
I make dirt move around a couple of times a day.
Oh my god.
Right. So,
You know what? I'm gonna give Corda that one. That one was at least a little inventive, and I'm gonna give you the credit as much as I fucking hate it. That was at least not you just being like, "Oh my god."
let's hope to God that by giving him credit, he'll stop trying for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I hated it, but I'll give you credit.
So basically, Eliza's thing is like, yeah, dirt's great, but I just think that there's like more that I'm capable of. And, you know, she's hoping to like maybe do some stuff with Earth because there's so many problems down there. She thinks that she could be a help. And Gail's telling her, like, you know, I know you're new here, but, you know, it's too late to fix Earth. You know, it's not 30,000 BC anymore. It's not 20 jack naked people and a bunch of rocking dinosaurs getting nasty in some sick ass cave somewhere. She's like, I don't think that's how that was.
I was gonna say, like, is that Angela's fantasy, or was that the history of the world that we don't know about?
It sounds more like fantasy because she's called out for that not being factual. And then basically she's like, you got to give me a shot. And Gail's like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to transfer you over to the Department of Answered Prayers. And she's like, whoa, we have an Answered Prayers department? She's like, oh, I can't wait to see it. And then it cuts to her like in this like dark, drippy, abandoned basement level floor with a flashlight. And eventually she finds the door to her new apartment and heads in, and inside it's like super dark, and there's just like one person alone in there sitting with a blanket over his head, and he's at like a control panel. She goes to like tap him on the shoulder, and he like jumps up like out of his chair. He's startled. And that's when we first meet Craig, who's played by Daniel Radcliffe, who obviously is best known as playing Harry Potter in all the Harry Potter movies.
Wait, that's Harry Potter?
Yeah.
I would say best known as Weird Al.
That's
Or
true.
Weird Al from the Roku original film.
To be fair, that movie fucking rules.
I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to. I haven't watched
It's
it.
really, really good. It's like the perfect movie to be a movie about Weird Al. Like that wouldn't have worked as a straight biopic. It had to be as fucking crazy weird as it is. Half the movie is just him dating Madonna. Like, it's so fucking weird and insane. It's so funny.
That was a movie that when it came out, I didn't know it was like satirical. So when the first like trailers or like clips came out, I was like, he dated Madonna? Like, I didn't know. Like, I was like, that was a thing. And then you find out the whole movie's bullshit. So
Also, if anybody hasn't seen him in concert before, Weird Al live is the best fucking time.
I imagine.
I think he's going on
He changes
tour.
his costumes for every song. It's so good. He's going this summer. He's playing in New Hampshire. We can all go.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll go again. He's awesome.
Are we going to get into a ruckus?
I told you that, right? There was a fight when I saw Weird Al last time outside, and I was like, guys, cool it. This is not the concert to start a fucking fist fight at. But yeah, if you guys all want to go, my wife fucking hates Weird Al, so she does not want to go for a second time to see him. I have no idea why she doesn't like Weird
I
Al,
am
but
fairly certain my wife will not want to go see Weird Al either.
I feel like seeing Weird Al live is like seeing the funny equivalent of seeing Alice Cooper live.
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah.
Alice Cooper, I've seen a couple times.
Me too.
I'd say Iron Maiden maybe a little bit too, because there's like the costume changes for like the trooper and stuff, right? Like Eddie comes out in like the coat, so like you get like different things per like.
Is Alice Cooper in the Hollywood Vampires?
Yes.
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 Okay, so I've seen him too then.
He's the singer, isn't he?
He sings a bit, I think.
They all sing a little bit.
Anyways, Craig jumps up and he's terrified. And eventually, you know, Eliza introduces herself. She's like, I just transferred from Dirt. He's like, oh, wow. Welcome. He's like, I'm Craig. I'm sorry for screaming. I've been alone for years and I wasn't expecting anybody. One thing you'll notice in the show, which I guess was like a directive of the creator and writer of all this, is that he didn't want anyone to like do accents. So like Daniel Radcliffe's like natural accent is how he's talking in there. He's not trying to meet an Americanized voice to go along with anything else. So anyone who's like has a native accent, it's just told everyone just fly free in the show.
I'd appreciate that, because it's always weird sometimes you see people in you see people get like in movies and in like American movies for so long. Like Mel Gibson's a good example, right? Where like he's in so many American movies for so long. Then you hear him doing an interview and you're like, oh, right, you're Australian. Like people like live in that fake accent for so long. It must be hard to come out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to butcher her name, which is why I've avoided, but Eliza, who Geraldine Viswanathan,
Viswanathan is what I was thinking, but yeah, I don't want to like. I mean, again,
she's an Australian actress, so I mean, she's not.
I say it all the time. Look up how many Australians are in current shows. It's something about Australian accents. They can do the best. Mel Gibson, right? They do the best American accent, and Americans do the worst Australian accent. It's so fucking funny how it's such a flip flop.
But from what I read, everyone was told not to use an accent other than their natural one. So maybe she moved early. I don't know her whole story. Maybe her accent has subsided over the years or whatever.
I mean, that happens too. And you get people too who have like an interestingly like muddled accent too, where like they have an accent, they move to a different place, and then it sort of amalgamates into like a mix of all these different things.
So Eliza ends up turning the lights on in there. She's like, all right, so what prayer do we answer first? Saving a life, curing a disease? And Craig's like, oh, you came at a great moment. He's like, this one's been a real nail biter. And they both sit down and he throws prayer into the machine. Like, it's almost like you have to like stick a ticket in the machine. The prayers we see they almost look like old bus ticket size tickets.
They remind me of permits. Those
sure.
Like temporary licenses we get.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he throws it in the machine and it's someone looking for their car keys. And she's like, keys? Like, yeah. To show the keys, we learned that like he can't break the law of physics. So there's no like zapping and flying and nothing that people will notice. So basically all he has to do is like melt one snowflake at a time. And so he's like sitting there and like, doing all this stuff. And little by little, one snowflake melted, two snowflakes melted. She's sitting there and like, how long is this going to take? And then you flash forward and she's like impatiently sitting there with the stapler, just like clicking it just to like pass time, to the point where we have over 900,000 snowflakes melted. Finally, she goes, oh, my keys. This is the part I love. Like she does like a little happy dance with her shoulder and you just cut to Craig, who's so excited. And he's doing the little like shoulder dance alongside with her because he's like so excited. I'll be honest, I never watched the Harry Potter movies. I know I'm of like a very small.
I've never seen them either. Yeah.
I've seen the first couple.
This scene made me go, oh, this kid's a good actor.
He is very
like,
good.
Yeah, he's like classically trained. I think. Like he's a very good actor.
I mean, he did a lot of stage work and stuff. I really want to see. There's that movie, like I think it's like Elysium, where he plays a FBI agent who goes undercover in like a white supremacist gang, which is supposed to be like pretty good and intense, but I just haven't seen it yet.
He also had like the best like paparazzi stunt too when he was in a play.
Oh yeah.
Every night he would come out and like he'd get swarmed by paparazzi because it was just like I don't think it was like a Broadway play or anything. It was like a smaller one and they would constantly be there. So he just wore the same exact clothes every night. So the paparazzi can't like say, hey, this is from this night. They can't differentiate the pictures from one another,
Smart,
which I thought was hilarious.
Was it a movie that he was out in a bathrobe with a gun?
Oh, yes. That was a movie. I just forget which movie it was.
Wasn't that play the one with the horse where he like hangs dong, right? And that goes
yeah, he's like
naked
for a good minute in it, yeah.
I was going to say, I thought he did like a nude play, like a one-man nude play.
Don't act like you didn't fly across the ocean to see it, Gordo.
Harry Potter!
Better than Harry Potter. Get it?
Right.
When the credit was given, you needed to stop. You can't keep going.
So now she's like, all right, so now do we get to like move on to something bigger? He's like, no, like we're not done yet. He's like, here's something fun. So now that he's done with the prayer, he like stamps it answered. He's like, now you get to put it on the wall. You see on the wall, it's like more of like lost keys, a lot of lost keys this month. And then she's going through the cards like, oh, I found a good one. And then she puts the card in the machine and you just see like on the monitor pops up, it's like a guy praying. He doesn't speak English, so it's captioned. And under it says, please don't let these wolves eat me. And she's like, all right, let's get started. He's like, all right, I'll handle this. And he just stamps it impossible. Like, wait, like you're just going to let like the wolves like kill this guy? He's like, I find it's best to stick to the small ones. He's like, don't worry, Impossible goes all the way up to the top. So if anyone can handle them, he can. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then it cuts to God chugging a beer. And then he tries to shoot the empty bottle in the trash. He's like, Jordan.
I laughed so fucking hard when he called out Jordan and did it. Like, I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard.
And it just crashes to the ground, yeah.
Past guest host, our buddy Russ, that like it just became for some reason his name was the name.
Yeah.
So to this day, we were at a carnival this
I still
fall,
do it too.
and I was hitting the basketball thing trying to win a stuffed animal for my daughter, and every single time Alba. Like, we graduated high school over 20 years ago, and I'll never not yell his name when I shoot a basketball.
As he's shattering glass on his floor, you see Sanjay up there with a stack of Impossible prayer cards that just go into the already full inbox pile. And he's telling him, God, I know it's been a rough few thousand years, but I think maybe you're being too hard on yourself. Like maybe, you should think you have a lot of fans down there still. He's like, not like before. He's like, how long has it been since someone sacrificed a ram to me? It's like, I thought you were grossed out by that. He's like, yeah, I am, but at the same time, there's something nice about it. It's like, me feel like, hey, I'm doing something right.
Did this make anybody else feel weird that like by going by like the Gregorian calendar, 2,000 years isn't that long?
No.
In the scheme of things, right? Like we're 2026. We're like 2,000 years isn't that long of a time.
When you consider the
Earth's, yeah.
Yeah, like the like infinite space and time thing where it's like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, like I always laugh at like we all grew up in Boston, right? We're like, Boston is the oldest part of America. It's 200 years old. Like people in England are like, my house was built in 1430. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, fair enough.
He's saying how, like lately he's just been thinking about maybe just packing it all in and trying something else out. And he's like, whoa, like, let's not do anything drastic, like let's give it a beat. Things are going to improve. They better. And then you cut back down to the prayer department and Craig is stamping some tickets like impossible. As he's doing that, you see like incoming and the wall opens up like almost like a giant garage door. And you just see like basically a dump truck with 2 million more prayers that are being dumped on.
A lot of prayers.
it was a lot.
And Eliza's like, we're wildly understaffed. He's like, well, originally it was designed to accommodate a much smaller Earth population. No one ever imagined the planet was going to get this crowded, which fair.
It's a very funny conceit that's the reason there's only one person in that department is just that they haven't staffed up and that like Earth started with 2 people in this premise. So like it was easy to have one guy running things.
Yeah, but at what point do you go, hey, maybe we can allocate some people from like dirt in other departments?
Yeah, but I think they're trying to drive home the point that this is like not a well-run operation.
Yeah, Heaven is a like falling apart company. Yeah, Heaven Inc. is not well run. It's too big to fail. Wait a minute, we've seen this happen before.
And so she's like, there's no way we're going to be able to answer all these. He's like, well, generally I try to shoot for 3-4 a day. He's like, but now I got you here, so we could do 5, 6, maybe as many as 6.
I like how cautiously optimistic he was.
And you see him like head out with like the net so he can start grabbing some of the tickets. And while he's out there, Eliza grabs one of those impossible cards and sticks it in the machine. And it's a man praying for his crops to be saved. So she's like, all right, I can do this. And grabs like a book and plays with some buttons. And she's like, all right. And she gets it to like rain over the farm. And like you see like the man like start to celebrate. And she's kind of doing like how Craig had done when the guy was celebrating. She's like celebrating along with him. But then an alarm goes off and Craig runs in. He's like, what happened? What did you do? She's like, is that a good alarm? And then it cuts to a news report where wails of grief intermingle with the shrieking of the death winds as a typhoon rages on, taking on the lives and dignity of thousands.
I love how like dark and weird the show is though, where they're like, the cause and reaction of this is thousands more people die. It's such a great fucking way to just be like,
with just like a different tone of not being so serious, which is strange and funny.
Gets into that like butterfly effect thing where like, a small change here and like the ripple effect of what that can mean.
Whales screaming. See? Not good animals. Nuke them.
Nuke the whales?
Nuke the whales. You gotta nuke something.
Put nuclear energy into our water supply?
Why don't you like whales?
They're scary. I've been over this before, dude.
Oh yeah, and you have no idea the capabilities of whales. Like you thought that they could like go like to the depths of the ocean and didn't need to breathe air. I forgot about that.
The thing with whales, though, Gordo, is you can just stay away from whales.
No, so this is the thing. This is actually, you know what?
They're not coming to your house.
Let's go back to Heaven Inc. because there is no freaking way that something that big should be that elusive.
I don't think whales are elusive.
They are elusive. Have you ever gone on a whale watching boat? Sometimes you're not guaranteed to see them.
Because they're smart. They're smart mammals who know not to fucking go. It's not elusive.
Also, the ocean is huge. They're not just like, it's not like you're going up to the living room.
Exactly.
No, you shouldn't be afraid of whales. You should be afraid of the ocean. The ocean is what's terrifying.
Yeah. The whales are the biggest thing in the ocean.
We don't even know that. That's why the ocean is terrifying.
That you know of. Yeah, the ocean's very under-discovered, yeah.
The biggest thing that we know about.
I don't know. I don't understand your argument against the whales. You don't live in the ocean.
That's the thing. You could comfortably live your whole life and never have to
any encounter with a whale.
Near a whale. Like if you're ever near a whale, it's 1,000% your decision to be near one.
I'm telling you, they just should not exist.
You know,
they're just too big.
You make a solid argument.
They're just big. They're just big. They're too big.
So you're just afraid of big things.
Yeah, but like an ant could be saying that about humans.
How do you feel about elephants?
They're fine.
Why are they fine? An elephant could walk up to you and stomp you.
Whale will kill you.
You know you're way more likely to die by way of an elephant than a whale.
No.
You could be at the circus and an elephant could just go, fuck this.
What do you mean no? You can't say no to that. That is a
Look
fact.
up how many elephant deaths versus whale deaths. You would probably be surprised.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, Gordo.
I like how you say probably because you're hedging your bets about making a blanket statement you have no knowledge of at all.
I'm just saying whales are responsible for a certain number of deaths a year.
Humans live among elephants. Elephants live among humans.
Elephants kill about 500 people every year.
What about whales? 500?
Okay, so we're at 500 a year.
Humans are killed by whales extremely rarely, with 0 confirmed fatalities by wild orcas. 500.
Gordo, where do you think all these human whale deaths are happening?
Actually, I can think of some very specific human whale deaths, and they all only occur at places like SeaWorld, where you put a fucking whale in captivity where it shouldn't be, and they lose their fucking minds. There's like 4 or 5 of those.
This is not true. Where are we from? We're from New England. Do you know how many whales killed our countrymen?
When?
When they were hunting them.
Okay, so when you were hunting them, they fought back and killed you.
They shouldn't be able to fight back against a big boat is all that I'm saying. They're just a big fucking animal and it scares the shit out of me and they shouldn't
If you are
exist.
hunting and trying to kill something and it kills you back, that's not you getting murdered by something. That's a fight and you lost the fight.
Also, it doesn't support any part of your argument as to why you're not afraid of elephants. We just gave you numbers on how many people elephants kill every year. But that doesn't bother you. You can't find numbers on whales killing people because it happens so infrequently. But all the whales need to die.
It happens.
So now with all the pending doom going on from the typhoons that she's watching on the monitor, Craig's like, well, there is something we can do. He goes, you can press F7. Does that stop the typhoons? No, it mutes the monitor. They just mute it so you don't have to hear about all the bad shit going on.
They go to this joke a few times, and
I thought it worked here. Because of this typhoon, now there's an overflow going on with all the prayers that are shooting into the room. And he's like, don't beat yourself up. It's your first day. You know, we all make mistakes. He's like, oh, here's something fun. This is when we find out that related prayers come like together. Like, so the tickets are like conjoined. And she's like, oh, what are they saying? Please save me, please save me, please save me, please save me, please kill me.
I love the one, please kill me.
That was pretty chilling.
I love the idea, like, because again, it's something you just don't think about, right? Like, you think of prayers as like, oh, please God, if you let me out of this, I'll never cheat on my wife again, right? Like, it's that shit you see in movies all the time. But dear God, please kill me. It's such a funny fucking thing to pray for.
So Eliza's like, okay, we need to fix this. she notices like where the pipes go to God when you send the impossible ones his way. And she just like starts chasing after it. So she leaves the room, figures like, that's how she's going to find him.
This feels like I can't quite understand what's happening here, though. Where like, where's the clog going? Like, I'm a little confused by the physics of this scenario.
Yeah, so I guess there's so many impossible prayers going his way that it's backed up. And she was like trying to unplug it. And then by doing so realize, oh, if I just follow the pipe itself, I can get directly to God. And then maybe I could just tell him like, hey, is there a way you can fix this? So that's like her motive here. So now she's like following the pipe and like running down the hallway so she could talk to God directly.
They're in heaven, so they should have gotten Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston there, because as we remember, there was that time where Whitney Houston had the plug for poop and Bobby Brown had to pull it out of her. So they knew how to do that.
Well, first off, Bobby Brown's alive. Thank God.
Wait, Bobby Brown's alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he died a couple years ago. Poor
No,
sorry,
they had
Bobby
a kid
Brown.
named Bobby Brown who also died.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking
Kid
of.
Bobby Brown died.
Okay, so adult Bobby Brown, new edition, is still alive.
Yes, thankfully.
Ain't nobody humping around. Okay, my apologies, Bobby.
He's from Boston, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like from like Dorchester. Yeah. We cut back to God now as she's running, and you see him on the couch, and he has like this lazy Susan of snacks. He's like, "Oh, the love of my life." He's like, "If only everything worked as good as you."
I love the idea that God can take ownership of anything that's ever been created on Earth, and the thing he loves the most is beer and lazy Susans. What a fucking hero.
I've never actually owned a lazy Susan. Like, I've never had one for like my table or anything for dinner.
We had one growing up. It's fun.
Was one of my dad's favorite jokes, as my mom's name was Sue. Or is.
That's good.
Yeah.
Weird Italian thing, though, I think, because cleaning out when my grandmother left her house, we did a big clean out. There was like 7 lazy Susans just scattered amongst the house. Like there was tons of them.
We had like a green stone one.
Yeah, we had one in like a corner cabinet.
Yeah, the corner cabinet is like their most practical use.
Well, I do have one of those like in my kitchen.
But like
that,
a tabletop
spit.
lazy Susan. Yeah. Like so hey, can you spin the salsa towards me?
Just don't do it too fast.
Not too fast, yeah. It's always dangerous. Yeah.
I mean, I don't live in like a luxurious home with a dining room table that's so large that I can't like reach.
That's the thing about lazy
Yeah.
Susans is they're not practical for tabletop. Like
No.
I can't think of a practical application where you couldn't just be like, instead of having the salsa here and spinning it towards you, I could have just grabbed the salsa off the
Well, I
table.
think that they're.
It's literally just to make Russian roulette easier. That's like the only thing. It's like you spin the gun to the other person way easier that way.
What about a snack train?
It's called lazy for a reason,
Yeah. What's a snack train?
Put snacks on a lazy Susan and you just kind of go.
Wait, I don't know if Gordo knows what a lazy Susan is.
I don't know what he realized he just pantomimed.
I was pantomiming a thing going around a circle, and on each little dip, there's a different snack. So you're spinning it, and then you're eating a snack. Spin it.
I'm confused. Where's it? Is this train on a track?
It's on the lazy Susan.
So it's just a lazy Susan. I don't understand
Where's
what
the
you're
train?
Do you think most trains ride in a circle? That's a very... This
No,
train goes
it's
in
on a
circuitous
track.
route.
I'm talking about a track.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like so confused.
I don't even think he knows what he's talking about at this point.
I do, and you guys are just not picking
Because-
up what I'm putting down. I'm sure someone out
did
there
ask,
is.
no, but I asked for clarification, and you just said it's a lazy Susan.
Yes.
So-
Do you know what a lazy Susan is?
Yeah, we were talking about it, and then you changed it. How about instead of a lazy Susan, you have snack train, and did not tell me how snack train's different than lazy Susan.
This just sounds like Gordo's terrible pitch to fucking Shark Tank right now. Like, no, it's not a lazy Susan. It's a snack train.
Mark Cuban is just choke slamming.
This
him
is
out of the
Vanilla Ice
studio.
trying to explain how Ice Ice Baby was different than Under Pressure.
No, there's no tracks. No, there's no train. It's a lazy Susan. It's a train.
See, this track's in a circle.
So he's sitting there, and then Eliza storms in, and Sanjay is like right behind. He's like, "I'm sorry, sir. I told her you were busy." He's like, "No, it's all good." He's like, "Hey, God." She's like, "Hi, Eliza. What's up?" So there's this crazy typhoon happening, and it's killing lots of people. Can you help? He's like, "I don't want to sound too cynical, but what's the point?" She's like, the point is you're God. You made Earth. It's yours. There's big trouble like going on. Like people are dying and you're the only one who can fix it. You got to do something. It's like, you know what? You're right. And then it cuts to outside and you see everyone at like Heaven Inc.'s like outside waiting for him to address them. Like almost like when you see like the royals like come out or like the Pope. So everyone's like outside waiting and he shows up and addresses everybody. He's like, hey, can everyone hear me? He's like, so I've decided to blow up Earth and I guess that's it. And he just like walks off.
Did they get into like does God oversee like everything, or is he just overseeing Earth?
I don't know. They don't get into it.
Well, they mention other planets, other galaxies, and they say you could transfer there. So I imagine there's like a.
I think
synergy.
Earth is like the main project.
No. But they do. No, I think he is in charge of the universe here because when he tells them, like in a couple of scenes from now, about the restaurant idea, he's like, "Oh,
Yes,
it's another
yeah.
universe." So I think he's in charge of the universe, just overseeing Earth.
Yeah. So, but this is like his big major announcement now is like Earth is going away, which obviously is the focal point for most of these people who are working. It is funny, like he just comes to this point where he's like, you know what? I tried. There's too much going on here. It's too much. Failed experiment.
I mean, if you've done something for 2,000 years and it doesn't work, right? That's like insanity, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you
Yeah.
can't
At some
fix
point,
it,
you have to cut
on
your
to the next
losses.
project,
Yeah. Be like, you know what? I tried.
Think of how many bands just keep going and they're terrible, right? You're like, you should have broken up 3 albums ago, guys. Like, just call it a day.
In a world where if this was like how it really worked, right? If God was a being and Heaven Inc. existed in this way, and you think of it as almost like a business, it's fair for him to be like, this one's not working and I'll just do something different. It's not an illogical thought.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that. If you're looking at it in that frame, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the business sense, yeah, where you're like,
Meh.
we've been overtaken by this other product, or think of fucking what are the fucking stupid work phones that were before iPhones?
Blackberries?
BlackBerry, thank you. Like at BlackBerry, at some point, those guys had to just be like, you know what? We had our run. It's over. Like it'd be silly if you could buy a new BlackBerry now. Like
You can.
It's
You can.
wait, what?
Yeah. There's still people who I have some stock in BlackBerry.
Yeah. BlackBerry still makes communication stuff.
No, sure, yeah, it's like Garmin makes stuff for boats, right? Like, but like nobody buys it. Most people don't buy like a Garmin to put in a cup. Most don't, but they still make them. Yeah,
No, but I mean, people also like use Garmin's for bikes and hiking and other stuff.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They found a different niche where they're like, we're not going to be for cars anymore. We'll be for outdoors stuff. And
Yeah.
I'll say this. This is one thing about the show that I think is a little interesting as far as this season, all kind of dealing with like theology, but not quite. But like, as far as like the thought of, but all these people will die and blah, blah, blah. They're in heaven. And it's never really brought up with like, so what? If they die, they'll just come up here. Like that's not like ever really touched on.
That's a
when
good
it comes
point. Yeah.
to any of this. Like, and I guess you can't because it makes all of it pointless. Like, so you can't really touch on it. But as I watch, I'm like, how come they never just mention that they're in heaven? Who cares if people die? They're just
we
gonna
never
go
find
up
out
to
anything
heaven.
about like what humans do when they die and go to heaven. We don't ever see that part of heaven.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we only see the business end of heaven because even the NASCAR driver who did die, God didn't know he was up there or wherever.
So to Jay's point, what also makes it a little interesting is the fact that they're not living humans either. So it makes Steve Buscemi as God, his whatever, makes sense. Her desire to save them is actually strange because she should have she has no like point of reference for living and dying. She has just existed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the death shouldn't mean anything to her, basically, is what I mean. Like, it's not, it shouldn't worry her the way it's worrying her.
So in the next scene, we see God in his office, living room, whatever that is, with Sanjay. And Sanjay saying, so just to be totally clear, you want to destroy the entire world and kill everyone? He's like, yeah, but that's not why I brought you in here. We have something bigger to discuss. My next thing. He's like, I'll bet you $100 you can't guess what it is. And he has like this kind of like, easel set up where he starts drawing what looks like a piece of shit on a piece of it's like this little clump he draws.
I love that God can't draw. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
funny, actually. Yeah.
And Sanjay's like, is that a new planet? He's like, you owe me $100. This is a new restaurant. what? Like, I call it Lazy Susans. So he's really building off of what he thought was his already greatest achievement.
There has to be a lazy river restaurant in Florida, right? There has to be like a circular, slow moving where you eat like chicken fingers.
I mean, they have those like paddle boats that like you sit on that are like paddle bars, but
Yeah, as I say, there's like the swim up bars when you're at resorts. Like,
you can get food a lot of them too. A person we know was just at a resort in Puerto Rico, and like they were like, "Oh yeah, we swam up to eat our breakfast, and we swam back to the room." And I was like, "It seems so gross to swim sausages back to your room, but it sounds kind of fun at the same time."
I swim sausages all the time.
Oh, it was so fucking stupid, but it really fucking hit me. That's twice tonight, Gordo. Go fuck yourself. Sign off.
He's done for 2026 already now. That's it. Mojo.
What we make it 11 days? Good
you're really
job.
not encouraging
13
him to
days.
find new lanes and avenues of things to talk about. But
He's never going to anyway, so let's just let him get his wins in when they come.
Listen, 250 episodes. This is the first time.
right. So this also reminds me of like those sushi restaurants that have like the conveyor belts, you know, where you like use like it goes by you. Like, that's almost like a little train track, right?
That's
And, you
cool.
know,
I've never been to one of those, but I really want to go.
there's
to
a few
one.
around here. I know there's like one in Watertown.
You don't
That
want to
feels
go.
like it's a dangerous thing to me. Yeah, like because that's not the kind of food you want out and about for a
So
long
that's
time.
the thing. All the sushi that's like floating around, I did go to the one in Watertown, and I'll try and make this as quick as possible. The sushi that stays out is not a sushi that you're going to grab from the little plate. Like, so you want to grab the fresh ones, and you might not like the shit that's coming out of the kitchen because they don't like, it's not like made to order. So it's like, oh,
Okay,
you
so
could
I thought
have-
it was made to order. That's gross. If it's
See, I'm
not.
a little more adventurous with the things I'll try. So like, I'm not going to wait 2 hours for like a California roll to pop up. So
You
I think I can
can
get away with it.
order them, and like they do come with the robot, but like that's kind of like defeats the purpose of being at a carousel sushi bar.
I think I can make do there. I'd still like to try it.
We it's over by me. You guys can come over and we'll go sushi.
But here, the Lazy Susan restaurant is, it's more of a hybrid, he said, of a lazy river type situation, where you would reach out with like those claws, those grabber claws to grab your food, I guess.
It's kind of a good idea.
Sanjay's like, well, okay, a couple of questions. He's like, if you're blowing up Earth, where's the restaurant going to be? He's like, I don't know, space somewhere. He's like, that's your department. He's like, I'm involved? He's like, yeah. He's like, we're really doing something. He's like, something amazing. Like, I love you, buddy.
I mean, I forget the statistic, but like, was like 80% of restaurants fail within the first year. I don't think this one's got the juice.
Probably not.
Probably not.
We cut to like the offices at Heaven Inc. and you hear over the PA, like, all departments are responsible for the disposal of their assets. So with Earth closing down, everyone's like packing up, and you see this one guy picks up his award for most beautiful sunset, and he just like looks at it and throws it in the trash.
No, he misses the trash.
He does miss the
Yeah,
trash.
he doesn't even get it to the trash barrel.
And then you see the rainbow maker machine, and they all push it down like a flight of stairs.
They push it over a ledge into a dumpster, but they also miss the dumpster.
Yeah.
Just lands it on a concrete
And the rainbow
floor
machine's
and falls
basically
apart.
just a Xerox machine. Like, it's a huge, heavy chunk of machinery.
Well, Rainbow's a pretty big dude. I mean, like, how you're gonna need a big machine for that.
I saw a crazy amount of rainbows this summer. I don't know if you guys did too. Maybe we just had like a more rainy summer than usual.
It's funny. It sounds like an influx. I don't feel like we got like a crazy amount of rain recently. I feel like we've been a little lucky.
It wasn't recently. It was like this summer, right? Like, you don't see them often in the cold weather, but this summer, because we'd always go for walks around sundown with my daughter, right? So like, it rains so much that like sometimes you just turn around and be like, we saw a double rainbow too. Where I was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen a double rainbow.
Did you do the
before.
double rainbow freak out?
I don't know what that is.
You know, it's like a huge like viral video. It's like one of the earliest viral videos. I know you're not the source, but
I'm not trying to be like, I don't know what that is, but like, you should know that like, clearly I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
it was
about.
like one of the like OG internet videos, the double rainbow.
No idea.
Really? No, I'll find it later. Also, we see the animal research and development section. He's ripping up all the posters. It was like all
These
the
options
future
are so
releases.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
We were so close. We were going to get talking dogs, flying horses, and new immortal humans. But like, if there was like an upgrade to humans, would we still be stuck in like this model?
Yeah, that would suck. If it was like, hey, the new humans are immortal, I'd be like, not you, fucker. Good luck.
Yeah. Not you. You still can't walk sometimes because of your plantar fasciitis.
You still can't eat bread, you fucker. Like, oh, cool. Thanks a lot.
We're saying there's all these new superhumans walking around like, fuck.
That's why it'll never happen in our lifetimes. It's the same thing with like curing cancer, all these things where like too much money is involved. But like, if they ever were able to figure out, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but like, hey, we can like, Nick, this is right up your alley, right? We can 3D print a new lung or a new liver or whatever. Like, the country would fall apart into 1921 so quick where like everybody would smoke again. People would be drinking like shitheads, eating the worst food. If you're like, wait, I can get a new belly? Like, I'll just eat burgers every fucking day.
I actually just saw a thing on the news today, though, where like they were talking about like the 5-year mortality of people who are diagnosed with cancer has like gone way up. And like a lot of survival rates have gone up. It's like early detection, but one of the things they noted was like smoking has gone down so much over the last,
know.
like,
I mean, just look at
years.
us. We all smoked at one point. Nobody smokes anymore. I mean, they kind of priced us out of it, if I'm being honest. Like, the leading factor to quitting smoking for me was like, I'm not going to spend fucking $600 a month on smoking. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
when I quit, Marlboros went from $5 to $5.25, and I was like, fuck this.
A pack of American Spirits is $20 now.
See, they're still not that bad up here, but when I quit, they were like $11, and I was smoking 5 packs a week, right? So what's that? $55 times 52? Like, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
There was a point where like, I mean, back then I used to like carry cash, and it was like, you know, an even $5 bill we get you a pack of cigarettes, and like once the extra quarter kicked in, I'm like, you made it messy.
I will say this though, and Nick, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but we worked in the convenience store for all those years, right? And like, I remember that happening. They're like, they went from $5 to $5.25, and these people who had smoked for 40 years were like, I'm not having it. I'd be like, okay, see you tomorrow, bud. Like, I know the fucking addiction of these stupid things. You will pay
I would
the
also
extra
like
quarter.
to thank that convenience store for supplying me with free cigarettes for half a decade. Because I didn't pay for fuck all when I worked there.
There were times where we've talked about this before. The statute of limitations is well over this now. Where we'd go in there because we all had keys and like the codes. We'd go in there at night and we'd just be like, I'm gonna take 50 Cabot cheese slices and a pack of cigarettes, and be like, I'll write it in tomorrow when I go into work, and never did. And our boss, who was a saint, definitely saw all of that and could watch the video
but
of us in there
definitely
for the
did
morning.
the same shit himself. So
also. You can't get yourself in trouble for stuff that people are doing.
Now we cut to Craig at Gail's office, and she's going over like, you know, so this is your severance package. You get 2 weeks of health coverage for every 1,000 years of service. You know, to scale, he's been there for a very, very long time.
Also, fuck heaven if you need health insurance. Like, you're in heaven. It's like, that's a pre-existing condition. We can't cover that.
I'm an angel who works in heaven, and I still get like flare-ups of the flu.
Yeah, that's
your gout medicine's still going to cost you $1,000, sir. Yeah,
and like he's bummed out. She's like, "You're going to land on your feet. Like there's other galaxies out there." And she's like, "If you want, I could put you on a referral for the Bornine Nebula." He's like, "Will I be answering prayers there?" She's like, "Well, no. There's no life forms there, so you'd mainly be just swirling debris." He's like, "Does the debris ever dance?" What? He's like, "Say a debris lost an object, and then the object would be found. Like, would the debris be like and like dances around a little bit?" And again, I know this is like silly content, but I'm like, man, this Radcliffe guy, he can't. It's funny how like little knowledge I have of his body of work because I don't watch the Harry Potter movies.
He's really entertaining.
He's really good.
Just like his like the way he showed optimism and like just like that glimmer of hope.
His eyes like
maybe,
lit the fuck up.
Maybe the debris will dance. Like, you know, like
he plays like psychopath really well. Like, because he's like clearly like a psycho from working in this department alone for, 100 million years. So like you could see that kind of derangement in him.
Well, he's very isolated. You're seeing that in like, especially here where she's like, just like, this is a good opportunity. Like, just like relax. like, you know what? Like, take a break. Like, hang out with your friends. He's like, oh, yeah, my friends. He's like, you know, go out today. Like, skip out early. Like, go have a burger with your buddies. Like, burgers. He's like, speaking of, sounds like happy hour starting early. And then you just hear her go, wait for me, you dickheads. And like, she like gets up and like runs off to everybody else.
Does Massachusetts still not have happy hour?
Yep.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah, we still don't get it.
It was like discussed, I think, and then
It was voted on.
I remember coming up like every few years it would come up.
I think the fact that like Massachusetts not having happy hour is one of the most Massachusetts things. But then also, we're one of the drunkest states in the country, so I understand why they don't want to incentivize drinking.
That was why we actually did have it, and I think in the 80s people were like just drinking so crazy, and then I guess like a drunk driver killed 2 people or something like that, and that's why we don't have it, because we're fucking animals here.
Back then too, that's when they lowered the drinking age from 21 to 18 too,
Yeah.
and it caused a lot of deaths because you were like, hey, like remember drinking when you were 18?
Yeah.
You were not good at it, right? People aren't good at drinking at 18. You're like, hey, now go out and be in public and then drive home. Like,
The problem is I feel like we don't do enough to compensate with like, you know, like happy hour and stuff like that with like, oh, we'll come in at this time and we'll give you like, you know, bottomless chicken fingers and stuff like
that's a smart thing. Yeah, bar pizza for $2 or whatever.
yeah, like that like you can still do your version of it without getting people smashed. As long as you give them like a solid discount as a reason to come in, like
Yeah.
you're going to make your money on the bar. Give someone a fucking free pizza or something.
Yeah. 25-cent wings are great.
Yeah, I feel like you don't see enough of that in this area to compensate.
It's funny because we never had it or growing up, right? And then I moved to a place that does have it, but then like it's like happy hour is from 3 to 6 or whatever. You're like in a place where there's not like we're in Boston, you could walk anywhere, right? Like you could walk from bar to bar and do whatever. Like you could do that. Up here, it's like you will be driving no matter what if you spend 3 hours of eating. And who's around at 3 p.m. to start drinking? I mean, like
That's the
I've
point.
been unemployed. I've been there before. That's like the other hard thing too. But like I don't know, it makes it weird. And then you're like driving home sometimes, and you're like see somebody pulling out of the 99 restaurant, and you're like, ooh, get the other side of the lane from that guy.
Here we cut back to God, and he's in his again office living room. I guess it's his office and his living room.
Yeah.
I would think that God can work from anywhere.
Yeah, but this is like the only place we ever see him, and it seems to be where he lives, but also where he works. So
I guess it's where all his TVs are.
he's showing Eliza like this prototype he's made for the new claw. He's like, bet you $100 I could pick up a single peanut with it. And then he goes to use it, and he has a little like bowl of peanuts there, and doesn't work properly at all. He like drops the whole bowl. He's like, it was working earlier. And then she's like, yeah, well, it's a great idea for a restaurant, but you know what's a really great idea? Earth. He's like, nah, come on, you said it yourself. It's a mess. He's like, look at these prayers. They're impossible. She's like, well, maybe I can help. He's like, you couldn't answer a single one of those prayers. And that's when she's like, you want to make a bet? And now we've already learned that God's a compulsive gambler. So he's like, a bet? You hear that, Sanjay? A bet. And he's like, what are you thinking? A hundo? Like, I was thinking maybe something a little higher. Oh, 1,000? Bigger. If I answer one of these impossible prayers, you spare Earth. He's like, all right. And then if you fail, and she goes, Earth explodes. He's like, yeah. But also, you have to eat a worm alive. Pulls like a worm up in a jar. He's like, in the whole thing, the head and the butt.
The head and the butt killed me.
Yeah, how do you not laugh at Buscemi saying head and the butt?
And then he's like, and you have to pretend you like it and be like, ooh, yum, I like worms. It's so silly, like how juvenile he is with his bet. When Earth's on the line and all I can think about is how funny it would be if she ate a worm and had to pretend that she enjoyed it.
I do like too, though, like the insanity that sets in if you're the creator of the world after 2,000 years, where like this is where you get your jollies because like you have to find something somewhere, right? Like you've seen everything, so like you've regressed so much that like making a person eat a worm's butt is like where you find happiness is kind of a fun.
Yeah.
He was throwing away rainbow machines, so he wants to see somebody eat a worm. Like I love the fucking arc of that.
And she's like, okay, deal. How long do I have? And he goes, 2 weeks. She's like, how about a month? And that's like for the only time he's serious, he goes, 2 weeks. which I also found just as funny because it's just like, this is when he gets stern.
Yeah.
But I do like too that they show him be stern once, right? Because it gives the character some dimension, right? Where it's like he's still fucking God, right? Like you have to give that point where it's like he still has all this power. Lazy Susan aside, he's still
Yeah. It brought levity to his position.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Craig doing like another like lost glove prayer. And that's when Eliza walks in. And it's right when she walks in, like the prayer's at like 98% complete. And she's telling him like, great news, I figured it out. He's like, not now. She's like, listen, I made a bet with God. And all we have to do to save the world is answer one of these unanswered prayers. He's like, please, just leave me alone. She's like, Craig, this is a big deal. Come on. And then like when she goes to do it, she rips his headphones off and like it smashes into the keyboard, which causes like a minor earthquake. And he was like, that was 4 hours of work. It's just the thought that like it's even glanced over, right? You only hear it over like the little intercom, but just like one key and there was an earthquake somewhere.
And again, this is like the fun part of the show to me where it's like they just kill people willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, just in the background, it's never like addressed, but they're just killing tons and tons of people all the time.
And when he said that was hours of work, it's like, so what? It's just a missing glove. Who cares about gloves? And again, Mr. Radcliffe, sorry, I'm just not as familiar with your work. Great performance here. He's like, I do. I care about gloves. I know what you think what I do is small and stupid and insignificant, but it's my life. I don't have anything else. The rest of you are fine. You just go around, oh, let's grab a burger. Let's all socialize and get burgers together. Let's go to a party and have burgers or however it goes. You know, I don't know how it goes. Maybe I'll never know, but I knew about my job. I was good at that, and you've taken that away from me. I like how many times burgers was said in that monologue too, where she was kind of like, why does he keep talking about burgers?
Yeah.
But he did it very well. Like, you know, like the emotion was conveyed.
I got a not great burger the other day. I ordered a burger. I ordered it medium. I ordered it with bacon. My burger came out. It was rare. There was no bacon. And it was one of those scenarios where I was like, you know, you have the feeling where you're like, do I fight it or I just eat this burger? It's not going to be very good. I ate the not very good burger.
See, it's funny because I was ready for you to say the opposite problem. I like a rare burger. Usually, however I order my burger, it's going to come one step overcooked, you know? So if I order a medium rare, I know I'm probably getting medium. If I order rare, I'm going to get medium rare. And I've never had it go the other way.
I say medium well because I expect at that point it will be medium.
Ugh.
But because I expect it to be medium at that point,
well
which is
too.
like how I want my burger.
Guys, they're not.
I don't want to see pink.
I don't
at
mind a medium well burger.
That's the flavor. Ugh. For a guy who talks about burgers as often as you clearly do not enjoy burgers.
I enjoy burgers very much. I want them cooked thoroughly. I don't want them crispy and like overkilled.
If it's like a smash burger, then yeah, whatever. But otherwise,
I mean, a
you
smash
can't
burger
order
though is
burgers
the
like that.
best kind of burger. Although I will say, my heart has been broken by Tasty Burger the last 2 times.
I don't know. The last time I was there with you.
No, the food was good, but the fact that they closed down the like part you can go sit down and there's like a bar and you can hang out and actually like enjoy yourself, and now it's just a diner where like they're trying to shush you out of the door because there's only 20 seats. Like that's a bit of a bummer.
But yeah, no, the medium well's not bad.
Medium well makes you basically get a medium burger, which I think a medium burger is perfect because you have a little bit of tenderness, but you're not rare.
I
and you're
never
overcooked.
want to eat a burger that's more than medium rare. Medium rare is like as cooked as I want my burger at all times.
Yeah, but it's not a steak. That's the thing, dude. It's
Yeah,
ground
we've had this
beef.
discussion before. It's who wants raw ground beef?
it's the same as like any other cut of meat, only ground up. The only time you don't want your like any pink in your burger is if you're buying like frozen patties. Like I'm not gonna
Why is
like
that different?
because there's additives and stuff. It's not the same. I can't verify that it's like fucking clean. But cooking a steak is cooking ground beef. It's the same situation. Like a little red in your
not.
burger
But
is
like,
fine.
but you can make the argument that like you want a medium rare steak. That's like a texture thing too. Like that.
In a lot of restaurants, like good restaurants that are making burgers, are literally grinding up steaks to make their ground beef.
Sure, no, but
Yeah.
my point is when you undercook that steak, that the center of that steak is a different consistency now. It's a different texture, and that's what people want. They want that softer, undercooked texture and flavor, right? Whereas ground beef is just mushy.
Yeah, it gets wet.
But
it
if you
gets gross,
overcook
yeah.
it, you render all the fat out. It gets dry.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, and like the
I mean,
cheese
smash
is,
burgers are some of the juicier burgers you can get.
Anyways, we could go on about this, and I think we have in the past. I disagree with you guys, but
2026. Let's find time in the spring. Let's all go have a burger off. We'll all go to a burger place. We'll order them different ways. We'll cut them in half. We'll take bites of each other's.
I'm going to make mine from stuff I got at Food and Stuff.
I'm going to get some flamingos or fucking ravens as well over there.
I'll just say this. You can get sicker from ground beef because the mixing of the meat creates bacteria in the middle of it, whereas a steak, it's on the outside. So you sear it off. So when you have a undercooked steak, you don't get sick. Whereas when you have undercooked ground beef, you can get sick because of the machines that grind it, that introduces bacteria from the air and water and moisture and stuff. From a cook's perspective, that's...
Well, from a taste bud perspective, I'd still rather run the risk. But again, tomato, we all like our burgers our own way. And I will have a burger party with any of you boys whenever. But to move forward, Craig storms off after this dialogue. And now Eliza's looking through all the answered prayer wall and some of the old ones. It's funny because it's like old, right? So like the ones we're seeing are, please don't let the barbarians find my coins. And please let my loincloth stay on while I'm doing a dance. And please let me hold it until the chamber pot.
I love the idea of like the writing of this show where like, hey, go write a bunch of old prayers. Like that must have been like such fun, right? Everyone in the room like batting that shit around with each other.
My favorite was like save the village from the Gauls.
Yeah, just like they've had these prayers for fucking thousands of years. Yeah.
She starts working on like a more simple prayer, right? And you see she puts one in. It's like, please, I really need my glove. And she's now doing it Craig's way, right? So you see her slowly working at it. And the way Craig is, so she's hunched over and like, methodically making leaves move away. And she's got the blanket on her head. Yeah. And then Craig returns. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I wanted to make sure you were here for this last leaf. And he sits down with her and he pushes the button and exposes the glove. And we see the video and like on the monitor and the guy's like, oh, my glove. And there's the prayer complete. And he's like, you should stamp it. And she's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, it's like, it was a team effort. So she gets to stamp the, completed thing on the thing. And then after she does, it cuts back to the monitor. And the guy just found his gloves, wearing a ski mask and has a shotgun now. And he just goes, time to kill.
I fucking love this.
And they look at each other and they're like, F7? And they mute it.
It's just like the fact that almost every decision made on this show turns out to be the wrong one is really funny to me. It's just, it doesn't matter what they do. Like, oh, they're trying to help this person, but this person doesn't deserve to be helped. It's just, it's very meta. I don't know.
I didn't see that one coming, and that one, like, the corniness of time to kill, like, really fucking popped me. Now she's looking at the pile of impossible prayers that she needs to pick from. That's when Craig's like, well, that's a lot to go through. We should probably get started, which, so now he's on board with her. It's like, maybe we can do it over burgers? Like, burgers? And it cuts to them at, like, the cafeteria. But the place is, like, abandoned because everyone's been, like, packing up. But I guess they were still able to get food. but it's like, he finally gets to eat at this cafeteria with someone. It's not quite the experience probably would be on any other day.
The cafeteria is just so sad and alone.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're going through some of these prayers that were already deemed impossible. It's like, save the rainforest, stop all wars, make everyone just chill out on Twitter. And then the rest of them were just Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi.
I didn't really understand the Wi-Fi.
I was going to ask, so I have to fly for the first time in 6 years this month. I know you have to buy Wi-Fi on a plane, right? You can't just have Wi-Fi?
It depends on the airline.
I was going to say, I don't...
Jay, should you recuse yourself from this conversation?
I don't dispense where I work, but I will say I know of an airline where you do not pay for Wi-Fi.
It depends on the length of flight too.
But okay, so I'm in the middle of the plane flight. I'm somewhere over fucking, I don't know, Virginia. I turn my Wi-Fi on. Is it going to work? Is there an issue? Might it crash the plane?
So what's going to happen is you're going to see the network, and then you're going to connect to the network, and then it's going to say, oh, you need to do some further verification to do this. So, and then it's going to redirect you to a web page. It's going to be like, you're either going to be like, oh, here's your free Wi-Fi, and then you can click connect. and do whatever, or it's going to be like pay for Wi-Fi. Like it depends on
Yeah,
the
it'll
airline.
bring you to the home screen.
But I can't just like check fucking Instagram or whatever, right? Like it won't like just work, right?
You're going to
Yeah, okay.
need Wi-Fi, yeah.
You need to get on the Wi-Fi. You need internet.
I mean, I'm gonna bring a book, I assume. I'm flying from here to Florida in 2 different flights.
It amazes me that we have to explain to you how internet works on your phone like you're fucking 80. This is a question like that I would be telling my mom. But the fact that you were like, so like if I have no internet on my phone, can I like use the internet? Is fucking insane to me.
Well, I mean, like I just assume like if you dropped me in Alabama, for example, right? Like my phone would work. If I'm flying over Alabama, why wouldn't my phone work?
You're above the network. You're too high up to get like,
Okay,
a
that
signal.
makes sense.
Also, the more important thing is you're in a Faraday cage, basically.
Yeah.
Like, so those planes are totally sealed. So that you're only getting what's being produced in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine without my phone for 3 hours, whatever. I'm just wondering about like the science of it.
I think like you forget too, like if you went back in time, like even like when we were in high school, like when internet on our phones was like kind of at our infancy and signal in general, there was a time where like you could just be at someone's house who had poor signal and couldn't use your phone at all. But like now we're so used to just getting decent signal almost anywhere that you forget that like it's not like a given that you can just have signal and internet everywhere.
I actually have pretty bad reception. If I'm not on Wi-Fi, I get issues.
There's a weird stretch, like if we drive to my parents' house, once you turn onto like the highway that leads to their house, which is like a 10-minute drive, we like learned the hard way, like you can't change the song. Like Spotify will keep playing if you don't fuck with it.
Right,
But if you're like, I don't want to hear that song, like you're done the rest of the drive. But when you get there, it's fine. So it's like a weird thing, which is hard because Andy's constantly just like, I don't want this one. I want the other wheels in the bus. You're like, we can't change a fucking song. We're in the dead zone. You have to deal with this when we drive for the rest of the way.
Eliza's going through them, and finally she finds one that got her really excited, and she like runs off. She's like, Craig, come on. And they head back into their office. You see them watching on the monitor, and you see 2 people talking to one another. And it's like, oh, it's really nice meeting you, you two. And then they walk off, and the camera follows the guy, and you hear his wish. And it was, you know, please, if anyone's listening, I really like this girl. Just please make this happen. And he's like, no, we don't do love prayers. They never work. There's too many variables. Like the girl might not be interested, or she could be in love with somebody else. And she's like, no, look, related prayer. There's 2 prayers connected. And then we cut back, and now we see the screen again. And when they veer off, it's the girl. And she's like, please, if you're listening, I really like this guy. Please make this happen. So now Craig's like, oh, this could work. And we cut back to God. He's like, I don't know. These prayers seem kind of vague. I mean, make it happen? Like, what does that even mean? Like, they have to be a couple. And then she's like, well, like maybe 1 date or 2 dates. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I think it needs to be full sex.
I love how inappropriate he is. It's
This is God being like, no, for this love request, like they unless they have sex. And the fact that full sex too can't just be mouth stuff.
I mean, we've been fighting this argument in public for since what, 94? What is sex, right? That's a Clinton thing, right? Like what constitutes what actual sex is. So God has just given us the answer. It has to be full penetration sex. Clinton was fine. He got away with it. He's good. He wasn't in the wrong.
He did that time.
Cigars don't count.
Round 2, Bill.
Let's be fair. I'm pretty sure that Trump and Clinton did have sex. That was like the funniest day of the internet where it was like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he blew Bill Clinton.
Was it Bill?
Okay.
No. The following day when it was like, Bubba was also the name of the horse. so was it Bill Clinton
went
or
from
a
funny to
horse?
worse. Yeah.
You're like, how do you make it even funnier? He actually had sex with the horse. Like, okay, fine. Win-win. Everybody wins.
This is when I think Craig's the one who came up with, how about just a kiss? Like a kiss seems like a good mark. So, all right, Casanova. All right, I like that. He's like, Rosie, bring it in. And then Rosie, who we saw at the beginning of the episode, comes back in, and she has this like a gold 12-sided box that opens, and she like sets it like the clock and presses a button. It's like Earth destruction in 2 weeks. And God's like, all right, Eliza, you sure you want this prayer? Because once Rosie closes the world exploding thing, there's no turning back. And I don't want you crying when everyone starts calling you worm breath. She's like, what?
They really doubled down the last like 3 minutes of this episode with Buscemi
The fact
and
that
the
he's
worm.
just like the worm thing. He's like the
He
Earth
can't
part.
get off of it. Yeah.
And she agrees. And he's like, all right, it's a bet. He's like, you just picked the hardest prayer in the box. Like, no, it doesn't seem that hard. I mean, these two people like really seem to like each other. They get along. They have fun together. They're in close physical proximity. I mean, should be simple, right, Craig? And as she's saying that, they're kind of like insinuating like this is also the will they won't they now between him and her with Craig and Eliza.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I think you first get it too when he mentions the kiss. I think that's the first part you get at the will they won't they. He's like, I think a kiss is right because he's so timid and he obviously.
Gordo, you didn't get that? I feel like the whole
Nope.
thing she's saying here is comparing them because they have fun together. They're in close physical proximity to one another.
Not at all.
It's crazy that we watch the same thing sometimes and how different we process them. But
No, because I thought that they were both so analytical with each other, and I thought that the original burger thing was just them becoming friends. And so they were, but I didn't think it was anything more than that. And I think that it's done correctly, at least from what I saw, because I didn't get a romantic interaction at all between them.
And then right after that, when he agrees, that's when she notices, like, hey, you shaved. He's like, oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, the shaving should have been like the most obvious flag for
He's like,
that.
he's grooming himself now. He cares a little bit more about his appearance.
I thought he was just getting ready to save the world.
You know in The Simpsons when they cut into Homer's brain, it's just playing Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. I think we just cut into Gordo's brain right now. It's like, da-da-da-da-da, hey. There's like no fucking paying attention to what's actually happening for subtext in this episode.
And like they run off to get started on work. And I like that we cut back to them like back in their department and they're looking at the monitor. And it's the news report, and it's like, police say the shotgun killer is still at large. Not a single fingerprint was found.
Shotgun killer.
Leading investigators to conclude that the killer must have been wearing what could have only been 2 gloves.
The fucking ham-fisted and overkill of this last sentence is so fucking funny. And also, I just love, too, the joke of, like, you know, because if you think about it, too, some of these, like, serial killers, like, the Night Stalker, that's no less fucking silly than the shotgun killer. Like, I love the newspaper titles of killers, and that made me laugh so fucking hard.
And they both look at each other and they go, F7? and that's when they decide to call it a day with that one and put it on mute. That's what concludes the episode.
An interesting, very unique show, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah, so now that we're done with it, and we've touched on it earlier, my only thing is, there'd be no way to know watching episode 1, right? So, like, if you were watching this episode when it was new for the first time, and you're watching it, like, I don't know that a season is going to end a story arc, and they're going to completely change.
Yep.
So, like that to me in this particular show, to me is a negative. Now, who knows? Seasons 2, 3, and 4 might all be great for different reasons, but like you have to rebuild that trust from scratch. And that's going to be an issue with any show. Like we've already brought up the other ones. Again, Making History, Blackadder, Hot Wives of Orlando. There are other shows that do the same thing too. It's tricky in that regard to have a show like that where you have to like re-fall in love with the characters every season now. But I can't hold that against them. But I do feel like it's worth talking about because I feel like this idea of, hey, we have an impossible prayer to do is something that could be the every season could be focused around that same goal, a new impossible prayer that they have to do together because they're miracle workers. You know what I mean? So like it seems like it's set up for that, and they don't do that season to season. It's strange to me.
It's very much a setup to like My Name Is Earl.
Yeah, like in that one, it's like episodically they change it, but yeah, even here, like. If it was season to season, it's like...
Yeah, because we also don't know if this season is going to expand through the full 2 weeks and we see them complete this prayer, or if it's going to be 2 parts. We kind of don't know the pacing, really. We get no indication.
I think if you watched this show the day it came out, it's way easier to say whether or not you want to continue watching it versus 4 seasons later, right? And using Blackadder, right, we mentioned, I first watched Blackadder in the World War I season, and I thought it was like the best fucking show ever. I thought it was so fucking funny, and I have more interest in that. So then when I saw the ones that were like, you know, in the fucking Dark Ages, I was like, this is funny, but like, I'm less interested, right? Because people are going to be interested in certain different things. So like, again, when I heard about this show, I thought it was just about the Dark Ages, and I was like, I don't really care about that so much. And now I know, so I don't know. Again, it's weird that this wasn't more on our radar. Again, we're people who like, we do the show because we like sitcoms. Like, this should have been something we knew about from the beginning. It's strange that it wasn't. Well, most of us like sitcoms.
It's funny. Again, it's funny because, again, Julia, who picked this episode, I feel like we said the same thing when she picked Trial and Error. You know what I mean? It was like, you looked at the cast, you looked at all these things around. It's like, how did this one kind of get by us? You know, if there's anything that's been eye-opening with this, you know, with us doing this show, is just how much is out there and how much kind of slips by and how much shouldn't, how much, you know, how much crap's made, but then how many decent shows kind of come and go because the eyes aren't on them. And
there's not a week goes by where like something doesn't get brought to our attention where like, this show was with this person and it lasted for 2 seasons. What? Yeah, it happens all the fucking time.
But yeah, not to drag on too much. Might as well get into the green light or cancel. Again, Ferg's not here. He will watch it and let us know how he feels, and that'll be part of the graphic that will be on our social medias later. You'll see those on S1E1pod.com, S1E1pod, Instagram, X, all those things. So yeah, to get it started, Joe, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so going by the premise of our show, where I know nothing about this, it's a for sure green light. Like, this is a very, very funny show with a very funny premise, a good conceit, and an amazing cast, right? And Steve Buscemi, if nothing else, just Buscemi is a green light alone. He's so fucking good as the, like, I just don't give a shit anymore boss, which is a good sitcom trope for any show, right? As long as you have something good behind it. And I think the whole cast is good. And like you said earlier, I've never seen a Harry Potter movie. I only know Daniel Radcliffe mainly from now this and the Weird Al movie, but he's a really good actor. He's very funny. Everybody in this is funny. The writing is really funny. I love a show like this because they put so much effort into the stuff you might not see. Like, I know they give a shit about the writing because you might miss some of the things on the wall or the jokes in the background or like the little things they put in there, but they gave a shit enough to make part of this world, right? That like you'll find later on. There's something really funny, I think, I bring up The Office again and again, but like the idea of The Office superfan episodes, right? Where like you'll watch this again because they wrote it so thoroughly that there's more they could give you. I think a show like this is so well written that you could watch it. I'm sure if we watch this again all together, we'd all notice something we didn't notice the first time. And I think that kind of stacked writing alone makes a show worth a green light. So for me, it's a green light. I told my wife after I watched it, I was like, we should for sure watch this. I think you'll really like this. I don't know if I'll enjoy the other seasons, but I know for sure I would enjoy watching fully this season.
Nick.
Yeah, this is just a really well made, well done, well acted, well written show. It's just fun. I really like, to echo Joe, Steve Buscemi alone really kind of makes the show. He's just so funny. Daniel Radcliffe kills it. The rest of the cast kills it. It's just, I don't know. Like I was struggling to come up with something just to balance my green light on this as to like, oh, that maybe they could work on this or something, like, because I don't want to go full in on one thing. I'd like to critique it a little bit, but I just can't really think of anything. My only thing is the way they do it with different seasons, but that's not what we, you know, it has nothing to do with the pilot. I don't know that that's how they do this, do that at this point. So yeah, it's just like a really cool concept, fun show, easy green light.
Gordo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say anything different than the other two. It's a green light for sure. Everything about this show was amazing, and it blew by. Like, I was entertained from like start to finish, and I was surprised. I didn't know anything about it. Seeing Steve Buscemi and Daniel Radcliffe in it, like killer leads. That girl, I'd never heard of her before, but amazing. Like everything was great about it. Notwithstanding the other seasons, but I didn't know that at the end of watching this. I only found out about that here while we recorded, and I for sure was gonna watch another episode. So, green light.
Yeah, for me, I'm no different than the rest of you guys. This is a green light for me. I enjoyed it. One thing we didn't touch on, I mean, you just said how it flew by. This a 22-minute show, which is kind of that standard sitcom length. Even though it doesn't play like one of those, this feels like one of those that would be on a streamer and using 30-minute episodes, but it holds to the 22-minute format, which I think was good to keep the pacing moving right along. And yeah, I had fun with it. I just thought it was a good show. I thought, I kept saying it throughout this episode. I think Daniel Radcliffe was really funny in it. I like the cast. I love Steve Buscemi. And yeah, my only hindrance is, like we all keep saying, but we can't hold it against it, is the idea that after this season, it's going to change. And that could be a good thing. We don't know. We it's not what we do here. We just kind of do the first episode. But I guess just as a commentary on the show alone, this feels like a show that could have had legs as is. But it went 4 seasons. So, they must have been doing something right. But yeah, on this episode alone, it's a green light for me as well, which means regardless of Ferg's vote, congratulations to Miracle Workers. Solid 4 out of 5 so far, with the potential to being a perfect score. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. I want to thank Julia for recommending this one to us, and anyone who participated in January.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And then, if you
thanks,
guys want to follow us, S1E1pod.com, and that's where you can find all the links where you can listen to us, where you can follow us on social media, all that stuff. Rate, review, all those things. Hit us up. Let us know shows you want us to do. You don't have to win January for us to do fan picks. We do try to get them when we can. There's so many shows to cover, but we definitely like you guys reaching out and pointing us in the direction of some shows. So go ahead and do that. But until then, we will see you next week for the last episode of this year's January. And that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best Hoochie Mama.